Hello, this is Mark Walton for Gamespot, and you're joining us to check out the all-new Total War Attila, and I am joined by Warrior of Sparta, famed YouTuber and community member.
Thank you very much. A good afternoon to the chat.
Yes, there's lots of people on chat today.
Yeah.
So you can see us two on camera. We've also got two people beside us as well. We've got Simon Mann, the designer for the game.
Hello there.
These are like some disembodied voices you can't see. And we've also got James Gibbon, who's the community director as well, a coordinator even.
Yes, hello.
Hello, otherwise known as, is it Dogbert?
Dogbert, Hoodie, Mr. Dogbert, Mr. Dogbert UK. I have many names in the last 10 years. So.
There are a bunch of people asking after you in the chat already,
no.
actually. There are people asking.
Them.
That's not a good thing.
See, there you go.
Who's this guy you're saying? They're probably thinking, this is not Dogbert, you know.
I get harassed on a regular basis.
Right. But so, we are here to check out Total War. Oh, and don't forget, I forgot to completely introduce him. He's sat over there. You can't see him, but he's manning all the controls. Oh! It's our very own Cameron Robinson, as you may know from Skyrim mods fame. Yes? Yes. Yeah. He says yes.
Yeah, we got a nod.
We got a nod.
Yeah.
So yes, we're playing Total War, and the first thing we're going to kick off with today is going to involve the Huns, which I know everyone's super excited about, but we're going to do a historical battle, and this is the Huns versus the Eastern Roman army. Simon, give us a little background here.
Yeah, so this is kind of the Battle of the Utus River, so this is going to be the kind of light Hunnic forces versus the kind of much stronger East Roman, lots of heavy troops, kind of heavy infantry, and yeah, the Huns have to try and win against what is essentially a stronger force.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Trying to use our sort of our skirmisher cavalry, try and break them down, put them away, and sort of use that speed we've got to try and tire out the forces of the enemy, basically. Yeah.
So I mean, today I'm going to be playing sort of the role of the newbie, basically. So I mean, I have played, I played Rome 2, but I'm not super hardcore with this game. So you guys are going to be helping me out here, and I'm going to ask stupid questions, no doubt, at some point. But anyway, let's crack on.
Okay.
And let's see what this game's about.
So let's start it. Let's see
Ooh.
what it's all about. Here we go.
I see you didn't put the difficulty up at all.
I knew you'd spot that. Yeah, let's see what we do with this. I'm intrigued what it would be like at normal.
So yeah, so you've got strong cavalry advantage there. They're going to be a much slower force, so you're going to have to kind of utilize the kind of Hunnic style of hit and run tactics to try and wear them down.
So you saying the Huns were speedier, or was it slower? Were you saying?
Speedier.
They're
they
speedier.
have the fast cavalry. They'll have light cavalry, no real armor. They're quite kind of mobile, as it were. Whereas the Romans will have the heavy armor, so they can't move as quickly and they tire quicker.
Right. Okay. Cool. Intro cinematic.
Between the Huns and the Eastern Roman Empire, following the cancellation of an annual tribute of gold. The Hunnic king Attila and his army have stormed the Balkan regions that belong to the Eastern Empire. The Roman general Arnigisclus has amassed a great force in an effort to stop Attila. The two armies meet in combat on the banks of the Utus River.
Right. Okie dokie, let's see what we can do. So we'll try and use...
Ready your swords, the rope!
Goodbye.
We don't need that guy.
Yeah. We're going to try and utilise, obviously, the skirmisher cavalry we've got, put them on the flanks, try and use, obviously, the heavy cavalry we've got as well, try and hit those sort of sides of the Eastern Roman Empire, move in sort of that hammer and anvil sort of tactic we've got, and try and see if we can win the day.
Well, obviously, you're a big fan of the game. I know you've been described to me as a prominent community member.
Oh,
yes.
Who said that?
One of these guys, I think.
Oh my god!
I don't think it was me, actually, but he is one of them, definitely.
It wasn't Dogbert.
So I mean, how much of this have you played so far?
Well, I've had access to the preview build, which was a couple of months ago, and it was fantastic. Really nice to see how the game's coming on. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes since I last played it, so I'm really interested to see what it's like today, what's been updated. Obviously, various balance changes would have happened, but from what I can see, it looks an absolutely fantastic game. It offers a lot more, I think, to the player than Rome 2 did. It offers a lot more variation between the factions you're going to play as in the campaign, really. So yeah, I think it's a really nice progression for the Total War series, basically. Yeah, definitely.
On that note, watch out for camels.
Camels.
Oh right, okay. God, I'm trying to get in position here pretty quickly.
Yeah, this mode is basically just sets you straight into battle, right? There's no guff. It's just action, action, action. So.
Yeah, we kind of just put you in a kind of scenario, as it were, and make you play it out.
Melee cavalry ready!
So as you can see, the Hunnic forces are much faster, so they're able to actually outrun the kind of forces that are coming at them from the Romans.
You know, like watching this sort of stuff, like there's a lot of frantic clicking going on, and everything's happening very, very fast. So I'm trying to like soak it in.
It's kind of the nature of the Huns, because they're not really kind of forming a line and fighting like the Romans would. They're really spread out, so you've got to kind of look after lots of different situations going on the battlefield, but also keep moving and try and stay out of the range of everyone, because if you get caught up in a kind of melee battle, you're actually going to get absolutely decimated.
Well, you designed these battles, right? Or a lot of them, as such. So.
We know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So I'm a little bit quiet now because I'm going to concentration mode, which is always probably a good
I can
thing.
sense the concentration happening right now.
It's probably a good thing.
There's
Actually.
lots of people actually on the Twitch chat already asking about the game.
It's getting intense now.
It is getting intense. Oh gosh. Someone's asking the pace of the troops and the battles. Will they be slower than Rome 2?
Yeah, in general, our battles are actually a little bit slower. They're kind of more towards the Emperor Edition speed, so it is a bit slower than Rome 2 in general. It's kind of certain battles are always going to be faster just because of the style of units.
Right.
But yeah, in general, our battles do take a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's also with a lot of the units now, we have a tier system. So a lot of the units that start kind of early on in your campaign will be like tier 1s. And as you go through the technology tree, you'll be able to get tier 2, tier 3 units. But those units generally a bit more upkeep. So they're the kind of like the core of your army. They're your best troops that you'll go to. And your tier 1s will be kind of more your levies and so on.
Yeah.
So the tier 1 units will be the levies and are much more likely to break in fights. And you have to keep them around your general to keep them in the fight. The tier 2s and tier 3s generally are a lot more disciplined and a lot more able to survive. Roman forces, for example, generally have a discipline trait, so a lot of their troops are able to stay in the fight no matter...
Right.
They will break, definitely, if they hit hard enough, but they won't flee as quick as, say, the barbarian units.
Cool.
It specifically means they're not affected by the death of the general, which actually, kind of for a force, is a really big thing.
It does make a big difference, right?
Like, yeah, so if Warrior of Sparta loses his general here, he's going to be in real trouble with his forces because their morale is a bit shaky. But as I say, if you've got disciplined Roman troops, the death of a general actually doesn't hold them back that much.
There's a lot of just to reply to a lot of questions. No, it's not DLC. It is actually a full game.
To be honest, with you, the changes have happened. You can't class it as DLC. There's so much updated to the game from Road 2. It's a much more improved game now, definitely.
So let me just fill us in on your strategy here. What's going on?
Well, I'm trying to use the flanks, get the cavalry around the back of them, try and use that sort of hammer and anvil to try and pick off the infantry from the rear now. So we're going to go through the gap here, pull through.
Yeah, so you've made it much easier for units to actually, especially cavalry, to break away from combat as well. So it's much kind of easier for you to actually do these hit and run tactics.
Right.
That the Huns were so synonymous for.
Oh, nice charge in the back there, see what happens. You only used it for a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, pull back out again. Use that shock cavalry advantage there.
So also the interesting thing that's going on here is as well, because the Roman troops are moving around so much, they're gaining fatigue, right?
Yeah.
When troops are running around the battlefield, they get tired. When you're tired, you take massive penalties to your actual combat ability. And in order to kind of restore fatigue, you've either got to be walking or actually at a standstill.
Yeah.
So basically, the kind of nice thing you can do as the Huns is actually tire out the Romans. So
when
you
right,
finally hit them, they're so tired that they can't actually fight back properly.
Was that a classic tactic back in the day?
It's a fairly classic tactic, yeah. Guys in heavy armour, if you can make them run around a lot.
Yeah, and also units can recover quite quickly compared to it's on Rome 2. If you ran around quite a bit, the penalty of fatigue would stay there a lot longer, and it would come up a lot more often if you kept moving. That's not quite the same in Attila. You kind of can get it back a lot quicker. So it pays to have that kind of tactic of getting engaged, pull out a bit, rest a bit, then get back in. Where before it would be almost consistent penalty of always being fatigued. And yeah, the Hunnic armies and the nomadic steppe tribes generally kept the civilized nations always on the run in a way. They were very difficult to deal with.
I mean, the Huns is like a really interesting one to sort of chosen, really. I mean, what was the sort of thinking there? Like, I mean, I know it's a very, very sort of classic historical thing that people are aware of, but you know, as in terms of like, you know, you've gone through like the Shogun stuff and the Rome stuff. Why the Huns all of a sudden?
So I kind of think we thought Attila was a really big figure that we've not really explored very much. So, you know, he was generally compared to Alexander the Great in kind of the size of the Hunnic Empire and the effect he actually had at the time, and like this mass migration. But also the period itself. This is kind of the dawn of the Dark Age era, and it's when the kind of Europe that we know started forming, like all the nations that we now see today. This is where they all began and started happening, and it was all caused by the catalyst of Attila pushing through Europe, actually, and kind of moving everyone around and basically kind of shaking up the nations of the world. So, you know, we thought it was a really exciting period to show off, as well as kind of you've got that kind of mix now of kind of barbarian troops and the Romans becoming more barbarianized, and the barbarians kind of teching up and becoming more kind of disciplined and more of a fighting force. So that's actually really interesting.
Not looking too good now.
I was going to say, I don't think you're...
It's getting hard, this is now, because they've picked off, as has been designed beforehand, obviously these heavy infantry of the Eastern Roman armies, they've held well, and they're starting to break away the middle. The middle's starting to fall a little bit here.
Simon, what did you say the historical battle this was based on was?
The Battle of Utus River.
Right. Who actually won in that battle?
Attila won the Battle of Utus River, I think. Hope so. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I don't think he properly started losing until he reached Gaul. That's when it started going a bit wrong. But yeah, so kind of the Hunnic forces here have kind of been a little bit cut off.
Oh dear. Oh. That might actually be... So, for the people at home, what may have happened is there is a fire alarm that's happened in our office, and there is actually nothing we can do apart from leave, because we may catch fire. So,
our world is burning.
Oh no!
Attila's here.
It stopped. False alarm! We're not going to burn! Hooray!
I thought I was saved then.
Wow. That could have been awkward.
We will watch your live stream burn.
That was brilliant.
Can you imagine that if we just left all the cameras running and then the room just starts catching fire and everyone's just at home like, oh right, yeah, great.
Twitch plays burning.
No, Attila's gone. Oh no.
Oh no.
So with the loss of the general, because the kind of Huns don't really have that much morale to begin with, they're going to start breaking now, and I think the Romans may have this sewn up.
See, but we've given you an excuse now, because you can just go, oh, well, it's a fire alarm.
No. It was burning before that. It was it was going before that. But yeah, no, this is hard. This is interesting. It shows that the Attila and the Huns are going to be quite interesting faction of players. Definitely different.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to take a very different kind of style of play when you're playing. The old kind of hammer and anvil can work.